KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're
the Real Estate Rat Pack.
Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now, 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack!
Every
week. We've got it perfected now.
I know.
Yes.
But you know, when one of us is, one of y'all is missing, it does sound odd. I like the stereo effect.
Yeah, the stereo effect is really good. Hey, I want to do a big shout out this morning to somebody who's having a birthday today.
Your parole
really
officer?
Good sponsor of ours. His name is Philip Scalise.
It's Phil's
What?
birthday, huh?
Phil's birthday is today. And you know Phil very well. He's a grandpa, by the way. He just became a grandpa for the second time this week.
Wow.
Yes.
He's going to enter into a whole new category of razzing for me now.
Absolutely. So, Phil, if you're listening, and I know you are, happy birthday, buddy.
Of course, I can't call him Gramps until I get rid of the cane.
That is true.
So.
That is true, yeah, because you're beating him on that.
Yeah, you're going to have to come up with a better story as I jumped off the wall.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway,
rock climbing. Sounds good. Come on.
You know, we always talk about our charities that we work on, things like that. And, of course, Sunshine Kids is one of the national charities for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services.
Yes, it is.
And
it's a very great.
We have an event out today, Biker Blues, that we want everyone to show up out there. It's going to be at Stubbs Harley Davidson, and I'm in my full Harley Davidson regalia today.
That is correct.
In honor of that. And Chris is going to join me as well. And we're going to collect money for the Sunshine Kids. It's great charity. They help. These are kids with cancer.
Yes.
And they're giving them some normalcy in doing activities and things like that. And I have seen and heard, and I had testimony for one of them that was just, it was gut-wrenching. It's how she survived cancer. She lost a leg, but she's a public speaker now. She goes around and talks about Sunshine Kids. It is awesome.
She was actually at the Sunshine Kids event out in Katy that we saw one time. A couple months ago.
That was where we heard it.
That is correct. She was incredible out there. And, one of the things we tell everybody is, even though we have a lot of fun, we're all in real estate and all this kind of stuff, we do a lot of charity work. And the Sunshine Kids is a very important organization that we do a lot of support to. I personally have done a lot of stuff this year in conjunction with you, Rob, and Berkshire Hathaway. And let me tell you, it's a great organization. It's a great charity. If you can get out there today, both me and you are going to be there, along with a lot of other people out at Stubbs.
And
Harley
Joe,
Davidson.
she can hobble his way over there.
And Joe will probably hobble his way over there as well, correct. And so get out there. It's a great opportunity to support a great organization for some great causes.
And that would be at 4436 Telephone Road at Stubbs Harley Davidson.
Yes.
So, I guess
we got a pretty fun show lined up.
We really do.
What are we going to
do?
talk
The
about
phones
today?
work?
I don't know. What are we? The phones do work, by the way.
Nice.
And, it's 800-808-5548. That's 800-808-5548. If you have any questions with our great guests we've got in the studio today, let us know, because we're going to be talking about luxury homes.
Big market.
Big market out there. A hot market out there. A lot of stuff going on in the luxury home market.
And first up is from Keller Williams, Heather McMahan.
Yes.
So,
Heather, how you doing?
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, she's going, I'm first? Oh, no, I can't be first. Let somebody else be first.
That's
Don't worry, there's only
the mimosas.
Exactly. Only a million.
We don't know what you're talking about.
We have no idea what you're talking about,
Of
mimosas.
course you don't.
We already got our producer over there snorting.
That was orange juice.
We're successful, yes.
Nothing in that at all.
But
nothing to see here, folks.
Let's talk. Let's talk about. Nobody really started their career as being in real estate, and so people transition and go into real estate. So tell me your story.
Well, I did start in real estate. Well, actually, I started in the hair salon business and managed a hair salon for a while, and then decided to go into real estate about 10 years ago.
And how'd you happen to get into that luxury home side?
Well, I had lived in the
Luxury
area
homes.
in luxury homes.
It's what I knew.
And that's what I knew, and those were the connections that I had. So that's why I decided to go with luxury, and decided, to me, it was a matter of also working smart and selling bigger homes. And
It's just as easy to sell a big home as a small home.
Right.
And
instead of selling $100,000 homes, which there's nothing wrong with. I would prefer to sell one $1 million home.
Very typical, though, that if you have a sphere that you are involved with, that's the sphere you end up doing business with.
Right.
And so it's a very natural entree into the business, stuff like that. But let's talk about how the market is right now. You were talking about, before the show, we were talking about that the luxury home market's really hot. Kind of describe what hot looks like for you.
Well, the market is the best that it's ever been. The only problem that we have is there are buyers out there, but there's very little inventory. So, and I am saying where people are scaling down, still building beautiful homes. You're seeing more homes that are built with clean lines, elevators, and they're maximizing the space instead of these McMansions. You're starting to see more of the homes and they possibly may have garages that are that have air conditioning and have lifts instead of having a 7-car garage, so that they maximize the space, and they still have, the bedrooms they may be empty nesters that have kids that are gone away, but of course they come home, so they still have space for that, and they'll have, the main thing is they want to maximize that space, bigger closets,
outdoor living. How's the outdoor living? I mean, it's
smaller pools.
Smaller pools, right? Because you've got the cocktail pools.
I just want to know if
they have the cocktail pools, and so that's what you're seeing. They're still luxury, but they are smaller. You don't see a lot of wasted space, and like you do in some of the homes that were built.
I just want to know if McMansions are filled with fake furniture.
Well, the other thing I'm seeing a lot in the like I said, the luxury home division or luxury home market, I guess, is that you're also seeing a lot of redevelopment in some key areas in Houston. For example, Bel Air, Meyerland, the Inner Loop area, Rice Military Heights. I've been Harley Heights. Hot, and you're seeing individuals that are migrating back into there, and then a lot of times they're actually tearing down and rebuilding. Are you seeing a lot of that as well?
That's the big thing is they're having to tear down. They're buying tear downs and building. It's a matter of getting the tear downs, and it's come down to sometimes going to someone's door and knocking and saying, "Do you want to sell your house?"
Right.
It is to that point. We literally are so low on inventory, but yet we still have, I think the second hottest luxury market in the country.
Wow. The other day I was there was an article that came out about the zip codes, and it was which were the zip codes or areas of the most expensive in each state, and actually the Villages came out as being the most expensive. I think it was ended up being number 6 or 7 on the list.
Yes,
really.
That is the wealthiest.
I would think Upper Saddle River would be in there out of New Jersey.
It was more than River Oaks.
Yes,
yes, that is a very hot area, and you also see people that are you see a lot of the tear downs in Spring Valley, in the Spring Branch area. Everyone wants to be in that Memorial School District.
Correct.
So
door-to-door home sale requests. Can you send your kids out, Hello, sir. My mom wants to know if you would like to sell your house.
This is the time.
Would you like to buy some cookies and sell your home at the same time?
This is the time of the show we start begging and pleading. Anyone out there thinking about selling, please do it now. We need it.
Heather McMahan, I will buy your lot or buy your house, tear it down.
Yes. And that's a great idea, though, Joe. You send the children out there with the Girl Scout cookies, and would you like to buy some cookies and sell your home? I'll give you a discount on the cookies.
Mom said if you don't sell your house, I might not get to eat.
Wow. Anyway,
here's my card. Call me,
Heather. We often talk that people aren't buying houses; they are buying a lifestyle. So tell me what the lifestyle. Are they looking for security, prestige? What's their motivation?
I think they're looking. It is a lifestyle, and they're it depends on the individual. Some are looking for the prestige. Some are looking, for.
Well, I think safety has always been a big issue
and
for a lot of people. People want to feel safe in the area in which they're buying. And, of course, it's gotten to be not as safe a world as we remember growing up. And so that's getting to be a big factor in it. So are you seeing people putting in very sophisticated systems into their homes?
So
and things like
you
that?
see a lot of people are installing cameras, and there are many people that like the gated.
Just kidding.
Can't do that, but
That's a very sneaky way of finding out, Rob.
you would be surprised at how people find out. Even just looking at Facebook.
But people should be very careful about what they post.
That is correct.
Facebook.
Yeah.
I got a new security system.
No. The worst thing is on Facebook is, hey, going on vacation for the next 7 days.
You have a 16-year-old that says, we're on vacation and so, and people look at that and say, okay, there's a break-in right there.
Right.
Well, that's exactly it. But I know people are very concerned about that, and I do see them doing some new things. What type of security equipment are they installing besides cameras? Are they doing basically tethering to a police station or private monitoring systems and things like that?
Yes, you see a lot of different things, but cameras and motion detectors outside, and now you have the cameras where you can look from your phone and see what's going on.
Are they looking for the smart homes where they can operate everything off their iPads? And
Yes.
things?
Yes,
you
see a lot of that too.
A lot of that going on, where you can actually be at a restaurant and say, "Oh, there's somebody at my door."
Right, or you can, turn on the AC or turn on the heat, or even when you're not at home. So you're seeing a lot of that. That everything is, through a lot of it's through.
Let's talk about the demographics of your buyers. And are you dealing with people who are coming in from out of the country? Are they in?
We're seeing a lot of people from other countries. I mean, Houston is really a big melting pot of, different nationalities that are moving here. A lot of people from China.
We want our money back. So please, people from China, please show back up. We want our money back.
They're actually buying a lot of land.
Yeah.
And land is key right now, just like we discussed with the farm and ranch.
Yeah, they're buying a lot of commercial as well.
And they are buying commercial too.
And we're seeing up in the Woodlands, and of course it's a luxury home market in the Woodlands. I don't know if you ever get up in the Woodlands.
Yes, I do.
But a lot of foreign nationals, and specifically Mexican foreign nationals.
A lot of Mexican nationals, they love Carlton Woods because of the security. I mean, I went to show a home there and couldn't find my driver's license. They said, "Do you have a passport?" I mean, it was like Fort Knox. I mean, it was very difficult to get in, and they like that. They asked for bulletproof windows. They love Carlton Woods because of the security.
Wow. Well, I see that in town and stuff like that. That's one of the first things they'll ask is it gated?
Yes.
Is it a gated community?
A lot of people in town they do.
And of course in like Mexico City, and of course Chris can attest to that. He was raised in Mexico, and that they often will have entire communities or areas that are completely gated for security reasons.
Right.
Because these are
Chris could
wealthy
attest to
people.
that. He used to be in a gang.
Yeah.
It was hard to get into those homes. No,
That's what that gold chain is all about.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Hard to
Yeah.
get in there, let me tell you, man. But one of the things that we've never seen here, though, that is really neat, like in Mexico City, for example, you drive around, everyone, you don't really have subdivisions like you have here, gated communities. Everyone sort of creates their own complex, right? So everything's gated in on their own homes.
Right.
The one thing that Houston has always offered, and I've always loved it up here, is the fact is you still walk out of your home. You still have great yards. You can go out to your neighbors. You can play on the street. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff that open and active. So people want to stay safe within their environment,
right?
But they want to stay safe within their community. So that's why you're seeing a lot of communities creating around this.
Are you seeing where people are connecting with their neighbors again out in these communities? Because we got kind of disconnected from neighbors. We come home, we go in the garage, the door opens, the door closes.
Right?
You don't see anything.
A little bit. I mean, I still think we have that sense of sometimes you get to know your neighbors and sometimes you never speak to them. So I think sometimes in the safer, or where they feel safer in some of the gated communities, then you see them, getting to know their neighbors.
There's a social networking thing out there. It's called Nextdoor. It's about knowing your neighbors, and it's a website and an app also. It's that basically it's the communities of neighbors connecting, because it used to be, I remember growing up, and that we all watched out for each other.
Right.
And I miss that piece of community and stuff. And from a security standpoint, it's great. Like I'm on vacation.
But,
Just pick up my
I think we're
newspaper.
starting to see more of that, though. We're starting to see more of that come around again. We're starting to see more community get together, and make sure they're policing their areas.
I like that.
and I
Because
thought it's
police
really
can't
good.
be everywhere.
Right.
I mean, we only have so many police, and we have so many other people out there who are trying to harm us. So,
speaking of people trying to harm us, our producer's going to harm us if we don't hurry up and get to break here.
she's pretty mean sometimes.
Absolutely. So, we have a lot more to discuss. We are coming up against a break as usual, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're lovely, you know what, you're so lovely, and oh, what you do to me. I'm like an ocean wave that's bumped on the shore.
And now, coming back on this lovely Saturday morning, we have the Real Estate Rat Pack.
That was
That is awesome. One of the things we say all the time is very rarely do we have you here on the weekends. You're actually here on the weekends, and we always say we want to have you follow us around and say, Chris is in the house. Chris is showing up to do a loan for you. How you been, buddy?
Good, how are you doing?
Man, doing very well. What's life been up for you?
Just working weekdays, midday morning host at KKHT, and occasionally they drag my sorry little behind in here on a weekend. Actually, this is the first time in 5 years I've had to show up on a weekend, but hey, I'm glad to be here and glad to see you again.
Hey, absolutely. Well, this is a great individual and somebody who does a lot of work here at the studio and has really made our show, our intros and exits, just what they are.
Thanks to you. Every time we're here, they're in harmony, repeating everything you're saying because they like it so much.
At least somebody listens to me.
Yeah. Hey, well, we have to. It's a sign of respect right there, bud.
Yeah, I am your own personal theme music, right? I'm your own personal announcer. So.
Yes.
Yeah, well, folks, you've got a great crew here, and I'm glad to get to see you again.
Likewise, it's always a pleasure, and man, great having Sigmund in here. And when we're done here in a little bit, we'll all go out there and we'll have him make an announcement for all of our guests. Like Heather's leaving the studio.
Have fun, guys. Have fun.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot, Sigmund. Appreciate it, bud. That's always fun. We always like to have fun. Always like to do little things about great individuals who really have made this show what they are for us.
Yes.
So,
that was a real treat to have them because, like you say, it's like never happened.
Yes, absolutely.
So, from our very own Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Anderson Properties, and Naseem Alavi is here today.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Naseem is in the studio.
That didn't have the quite ring. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You have other great talents, but
let me tell you, we just got the real thing.
I know.
We know.
It pales by comparison.
yes, Sigmund is the only Sigmund out there. So, well, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
And of course, Renee Davy Oakham was going to be with us here today, and Naseem goes, "Can I still come even though she's sick?" And I go, "Absolutely, we still want you to come." Now,
So a big shout out, and hopefully she's doing well and
Renee,
getting better.
I
Renee,
hope you are feeling better because she was running like 103 temperature. Like, I was thinking Ebola at first.
You know what though? I will
not
tell
Ebola.
you, she is probably home, cuddled up with Buster right now.
Yes,
And
with
that
the
is
bulldog.
which is her bulldog. And that is something that's a great story that she got Buster back. So that she's probably happy to be home. Prefers to be there sometimes in the studio. Trust me.
Absolutely. So, Naseem, now you are in the luxury home market, but you're fairly new to them. Talk about where you were before and how you got to us and how did you find Berkshire Hathaway?
Sure.
We're glad you did.
Yeah, find out why somebody didn't warn you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the dark side.
So I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, kind of in the Rustling Pines area, close to actually our town and country office. And I went to middle school, high school, and headed off to LSU. Came back and moved to Houston, and I was not.
Go Tigers.
I know, go Tigers.
I feel
We've got
sorry
a
for you
big
guys
game
this weekend.
today. I know we've got Ole
I feel
Miss.
really bad for you guys this weekend.
Don't feel bad for us. We're the comeback team. And after that, I wasn't sure if I wanted to stay in Houston. Everyone after college is New York, Chicago. They weren't sure, but I fell back in love with it all over again. I saw our economy growing, the diversity. It was very different, especially when you're at LSU. We were at a small community there, and I went into a marketing position, and after that in oil and gas. And my last year, I got my real estate license, and I started looking at properties every day for myself, for my boyfriend, my dad, with commercial properties and some of his friends, and some flips and everything, flipping properties. And my brother-in-law is also does some of the flipping, and I fell in love with it. I started waking up and I would search for the properties. I'd be like, we need to send an offer in right now. And I was just very eager and excited. And I figured out that it was one of the only things that kind of kept me interested in my focus. That was the first email I'd answer. It would be about real estate instead of about my job.
Okay, the first thing first admit that you're powerless over real estate. We have 11 other steps after that, so you're hooked.
Yes, that was the thing. And after a while, my dad was like at events. I would talk about real estate with people much more than I would about oil and gas or finance or anything else. And I finally sat down and I was like, I'm at a point in my life where, I want to do this. And I've had people email me for over a year or two. They're like, Naseem, you got to do this. You love working with people one-on-one. And this is the industry for you. So finally, I just was like, a month ago, I was like, I'm going to do it. And I talked to a few companies, and really, Renee, I fell in love with her from the beginning.
Thank you, Renee.
Yeah, she gave me a sense of community, and being new to an industry, it was, and I was always trying to have a fair type of thing where I was like, I'm going to have an open mind. But it really was for me. As soon as I walked in that door and I sat with her, I could be myself, and she was very real with me, and I appreciated that.
She's awesome.
And the company itself, it's definitely, it's new and it's business, but real estate mixed with it. Kind of felt professional, but yet very at home.
Our owner, Mike Huff, he's one of those kind of like, I'm going to give you an environment to work in, but then I'm stepping back and let you do your thing. He is not a micromanager by any stretch.
They trust their agents. They believe in them, and they really do, and you motivate each other.
Or we will redirect their career path. It's that simple and something like that.
Motivate you out the door?
So talk about your sphere of business and things like that. What do you find most of your clients are, and where you finding them? And
a little bit more of the inner loop. My parents live in Piney Point, and we grew up with the kind of memorial community. But I went to Stratford, so also we have our Stratford community on the west side.
So you humbled yourself and went with the rest of us.
I mean, I did. I loved it. So kind of on the west side and more of the inner loop as well. But with my age range, it's a lot of times, sometimes it's going to be luxury rentals. It's going to be also some commercial properties for people. We have family that lives out of town, and they're very interested in the market because it's just so hot.
So that 21 to 22 range is what you're saying?
No. 28.
Why is it the young person in the room had to bring up her age range?
Well, at 28, I'm at the age where really our friends have been responsible. They're looking to buy now.
Was that a jab at my crutch? Was that my cane? Is that what you were getting out over here?
No, but they do. They're looking in from Heights. Some people are looking at the bungalows in Montrose and, the Village, which it's the hottest area. It's always been, I feel like, in Houston.
I have a builder friend. He said, you will pay almost anything for a Village acre right now. And he
said,
you can't find them.
Sure.
And he usually builds in the $3 to $4 million range, but it's like, can't find a lot. He's at the Houston Country Club right now, probably having a cocktail, lamenting that he doesn't have a lot to build on and stuff.
People
like
the area that has a little charm to it, and that's really it's what Montrose has. Now the Heights have it, and I do think that that's the area that the prices increasingly go higher and higher because it's hard to find that unique type because Houston can be so big.
Heights is very eclectic, and the Heights is hot. It's
very
just hot as can be. In fact, last year you could buy a lot for about $30 a foot. I'm seeing $60 and $70 a foot for the same land.
It's doubled.
It is just
and I like the way you put charm to it. One of the things that we see, the thing that's really neat about Houston and all the extended areas is every place has a different charm factor. In fact, that'd be a great website, charmfactor.com.
Let me GoDaddy.com. Let me tie
the charm. We have friends that live everywhere. In Piney Point, we've got a lot of our doctor friends who live in that area. Bay Area. We got River Oaks. We've got the Woodlands. We have Katy. We've got Pearland, and every area that you go to has that charm. One of the things that I've always said is that luxury home inner loop and memorial area. You can't find you can't ever replicate the years of it's taken for those trees to grow, for the foliage to be out there. I mean, for the neighbors who have been there forever and the kids know each other forever right there. So I like the way you put that as far as the charm goes. It is very important, I think.
Hashtag charm factor.
Yes. Hashtag, yeah. The question is, so you're probably working with various age groups and stuff. You're working a lot with your own sphere. And tell me what the difference is. It's like if you're taking a boomer like I am and a Y, like I guess you're a Y.
Yes, I am. People have always told me I'm an old soul. So when I sometimes even I like run into the room and I will sit in the corner talking to the person who's 70 about life and life lessons and everything. So for me, there's just really no difference. But again, the 28 to 35-year-old is looking a little bit more of a starter home. They're not thinking, let me have a backyard that has all this running space for the kids and everything. They really are kind of like, I want to buy right now because it's a smart investment. And, that's what they're more looking for. Whereas someone, obviously, when are thinking that they're going to move into a home in their 50s and 60s, they're going to be there for, 10, 20 years.
Remainder of their life.
Whatever.
You didn't want to say it. You didn't want to say it, but I
No, and that's the part that is really, they're looking for more of that land. A lot of them have grandkids, and they want to have that extra space, and they want it to be a little bit more quiet. Whereas someone in their 30s, they don't mind if they live on a busy corner. It doesn't, because they're so in and out of their home. So it's a little bit of a different
And I
market.
noticed that from people coming from other cultures. People come from more high density other countries and stuff like that. The noise doesn't really bother them that much.
It doesn't.
No.
And,
you get in a high rise, you can hear all the street noise, and they're going, there's noise?
Exactly. It doesn't bother some people. Whereas my parents, they've lived in Piney Point and it's been more quiet there, that I think it would be a major adjustment for them. But
Right.
for someone, me, I'm just like, what noise? What are we talking about?
I think there's a gauge for old and noise level. There has to be. It's like after the second kid, you're like, I don't want justice. I just want quiet.
Right. I just want to hear the crickets.
Like when you're going to concerts nowadays, it's like, oh man, it's so loud, I can't be in there. It's like when you're a kid, it's like, it's not loud enough.
Right.
So it's all relative. Is that, I think we're coming up against a break again.
We are. As always, we're coming up against a break. We have some great guests in the studio. We still have another guest coming up right after this next break as well. But, what they say is time flies, you're having fun, and we are having fun right now. So we're going to have some more fun on the break, take some more pictures. Stay tuned, though, and we will be right back.
Immovable object like me, you can bet as sure as you live. Something's gotta give, something's gotta give, something's gotta give.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we are back.
That was quick.
It's always really quick. Especially here during the break, I got to see an old buddy of mine from some old shows ago. He's back over here
Not
taking
old,
some notes down.
Seasoned.
He's a seasoned buddy of mine. That is correct.
Well, I want to welcome someone I've known for a while. She is the Houston chapter of the WCR president this year, and a good friend, and she is with Martha Turner, and it's Peggie Pentecost. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me here, even though I wasn't your first choice.
Oh, well,
You're always our first choice.
I'm always worried about that when I say, can you fill in? Can you fill in?
Exactly.
We really appreciate that you can step up.
And let you know, I have spoken with you about coming on the show plenty of times before we see each other.
Okay. So she's just trying to.
She was perhaps not Rob's first choice, but at least Chris's first.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
That's true.
Chris.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Rob
the
does the scheduling, so I had to sneak you in every once in a while. But you were my
Appreciate
first choice.
Yeah.
Thank
Throw
you.
me under the bus right away. Thank you very much.
And that was the sound of the bus.
Joe's driving it. I'm just guiding him.
Well, the nice thing is the three of you men are not competitive at all.
No, not at all. No. Yeah, well, let's talk about your career in real estate and where you started and how you ended up where you ended up. And I know you've done a lot of high-end luxury homes, but where did you start?
Well, actually, I've done a lot of different things. Most of them all
Let's talk about the legal stuff that you've
entrepreneurial. Yeah. Most of them all
I'll take this time to
entrepreneurial.
mention it is Christian radio.
But I really have never worked for a corporation, so I am used to being a self-motivator and always doing things that I can have a lot of leeway and a lot of ability to steer the direction of whatever it is I'm doing. So that is the reason that real estate has caught my attention. I got a degree at the University of Houston.
Yeah, go Cougs.
My undergrad degree is a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Management and Technology with a real estate concentration.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
believe it
So
or
you are a
not,
rare
yeah,
animal. You
I
really
actually have a degree in real estate.
That's awesome.
And I think eventually that became more like a landman degree, but it was a great degree, and it was a great education about the land and about the history of real estate in Texas, which is very unique. The reason I got into residential real estate, though, is something that's actually happened fairly recently within the last 10 years. I always used my license to basically do ventures on our own and find shopping centers, apartments, that sort of thing.
You're buying commercial property,
right?
To rehab them or hold them, or
actually searching for that for general partners and that sort of thing. But as time went on, I found myself selling 5 or 6 things a year by referral. So one of the brokers came to me and said, "Gee, why don't you put your license with me and start working the market?" And I thought, well, this could be my last career before I decide to retire.
And they just go
never.
Go listless.
That's it. So anyway, that's how I ended up starting working residential real estate on a full-time basis, and absolutely love it. And I think you have to love what you do.
Yeah, well, I know you have a passion for it, because I remember we actually talked with you about joining our family at one time, and you had a very specific goal and idea of what you were. And so you work that luxury market. Talk to me about what your business looks like.
Well, what my business looks like is you just do everything you can to get the word out to everyone that you know. And again, I've done other things in my life, so not everyone has always known me to be a realtor, and it's taken some time to get everybody to know, hey, I'm a realtor now. But I definitely have found that your sphere of influence and your business circle and your personal friends circle all are your best place to start, and referrals are your very best asset. And that is basically how I've built my business. And I have built my luxury business because most of the people that I find in my circle are in the luxury market.
So you're probably working more of a sphere of influence as opposed to a geographic. So you end up going to different areas of town and things like that.
Everyone ends up in the real estate business, working all parts of town, all parts of the counties, all surrounding counties. You end up, I also have a property in Colorado, so I find myself doing 1 or 2 referrals there in Colorado. And now being a part of Sotheby's, I'm able to go ahead and refer that business to those local areas.
Talk about that. I'm a huge Martha Turner fan, and I've admired her for a very long time. Very successful businesswoman, very smart, still works hard all the time. She made a choice, which was probably a great exit strategy for her. How's that impacted your business going with the Sotheby's brand?
Well, I believe that Martha and Tom were very much all about making sure they took care of the Martha Turner family, and it really does feel like a family there. And they had turned down the opportunity to be a part of Sotheby's on several occasions because they just didn't feel the love, so to speak. But they got to a point where I'm seeing that what Martha and Tom have done to build their business is having more of an effect on Sotheby's. And
Sotheby's having an effect on you.
Exactly. The whole local flavor of the way that business has been done by them for many, many years, and the success that they've enjoyed has had a great effect on building business models for other markets across the country and even the world. So they felt comfortable, and they finally took the plunge. What we're seeing is a great opportunity internationally that we didn't have before, and that is what I look forward to in the future, is working with more and more individuals from other countries. I just took the courses for the CIPS.
Don't call it SIPS.
That's right, CIPS.
So obviously it's KIPS.
And so now I'm an international property specialist, and there is a lot to know.
That's quite a course.
5 grueling days, all day long, through lunch, everything.
Richard Miranda did a great job.
He did a great job, and
we're going to have him on the show in the future talking just about selling to the international community. So.
Well, and that's one of the things, the international community is a big driver of the community. Luxury. Yeah, it's a big community, but it's a very big community.
It's huge.
It's a very big buyer of luxury homes in the Houston area. And how have you seen that change over the past couple of years, from where it was 10 years ago to where it is today? How's that change been?
Well, our venture to become global as the United States' mission was to become more global. Well, we are global now. And in becoming global, we now understand a lot about other countries and some of the challenges that they have faced, like Heather brought up earlier about security. And these people are used to living, like you mentioned earlier, in large compounds, if you will. So they are looking for large compound style living where they can have their whole family and they can still enjoy the security of being in a country where they're not living in fear. And many of the countries have escalated to a point where they're living with a great amount of fear on a day-to-day basis. So you find these people coming here looking for the same kinds of luxury living that Heather was talking about earlier, people wanting to move to places like Carlton Woods and Royal Oaks Country Club and those kinds of communities, as well as the older people wanting to move into places like Del Webb, where there's lots to do, right, and they feel safe in that compound kind of living style. So I think that's a lot of what we have to offer the international community.
So they're buying safety, basically.
They are. And they all we in the United States don't really grasp the concept of multi-generational living in one home. Mm-hmm. But many of our foreigners that do come are looking for that kind of lifestyle. Exactly.
That's a very interesting. We actually literally just talked about that yesterday at our office, about the difference in culture. That it's a very American thing to boot the kids out. Oh, you're 18, time to hit the road. And vice versa. The kids to boot the parents to the curb and say, it's time for the home. That kind of thing. That's an American kind of a concept. So it's really interesting that that's a feature that you're seeing, or in the luxury market, as we become a more international. Houston's been very international for a long time, but I guess as hot as the market's been in this luxury end, it's going to be even more so.
Oh yeah. And a shameless plug on this one. One of the things, growing up in Latin America, I'm starting a series with Trendmaker Homes on how to market to the Latin American buyer. And it's one of the things, because what we're mentioning is there's a lot of things. One is we have a lot of clientele that's coming in to Houston and the surrounding areas, et cetera. But there is a way you have to market to them. There's what they want to see and how they want to be communicated with, and how to sell to those different levels of generations. And it's true. I mean, one of the things that we see out there is that Houston, and I say this all the time, the United States is a melting pot. Houston is the best representation of that melting pot.
Fort Bend County is nationally recognized as the most culturally diverse county in America.
Yes, absolutely.
Actually, in the world.
I would say so.
We're very unique in the world because most of them don't mix cultures.
Right.
That's right.
We're such an anomaly on the planet, and that's what I like about it.
Well, I live in Fort Bend, so that probably would explain why it's so diverse.
Yes. Who else would take you, right?
That is correct.
Well, and I did venture to learn Spanish as an adult, but I conduct many tours in Spanish, especially of my luxury listings, $2-3 million homes. People will oftentimes come here from a Hispanic country, and I'll conduct the entire showing in Spanish.
And of course, Chris, English is really his second language, and it's such a gift that
I don't speak any language.
Is it because even though someone might speak English perfectly, they like to do business details in their native language, because some things just don't interpret at all.
Exactly correct.
And I think, Chris, you find that when you're taking loan apps and they're Hispanic. They
all the
may
time.
speak English, and once they realize that you're fluent in Spanish, they just.
It's one of those things. We're very fortunate, like I said, to be in Houston. But one of the things, I don't care what country you're from. If your native language is Spanish, or is it French, or it's Portuguese, or German, they want to do, generally speaking, those business transactions in their native tongue. And so, if you have the ability to make that transition and that translation, it's always a lot better, and you'll find it'll be a lot smoother transaction right there.
Just much like Chris's taste in music, some things don't interpret.
That
is correct.
That's another whole show.
That is a different show in its entirety.
We'll explain that to our guests later.
Yeah.
As they all look at each other puzzled.
I saw Ashley raise her one finger up again, and I know she's not talking about heaven, so I'm thinking we're coming up against a break.
She is talking about us coming up against a break, and we do have to let our sponsors know we are coming against a break right now. We have one more segment to go. We are going to be open mic. If you want to call in, you can reach us at 800-808-5548. Ask all of our great guests any questions you want, and you can ask even the co-host if you want to as well. Ask some hard ones, some really, really, really hard ones out there. But stay tuned. We're going to break. We'll be right back.
Cause it's already sweet. It doesn't need an oven because it's got a lot of heat. Just add a dash of kisses to make it all complete. And that's the recipe for making love. And if you've made it right, you'll know it. It's not like anything you've made before. And if you've made it wrong, you'll know it.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we're back. We had Sigmund walk in a little while ago. I thought he was going to do the same thing again for us.
I know. I love that.
That is awesome. We're having a great time talking about the luxury home market in Houston. Let me tell you, it's a great market. And this next segment right here is really an open mic segment. It's about talking about anything that you think is pertinent associated with the luxury home market, and we can ask questions to each other, et cetera, et cetera. One of the things that we've always said is Houston, and we're talking about this a little while ago, Houston's really morphed a little bit. I mean, if you look at where luxury home sales were 10 years ago, if you look at where they were 5 years ago, and then you look at where they were 2 years ago, we have really seen a jump. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Rob, you can probably talk to this, I think one of the largest increases has been in the luxury home market over the past year and a half.
500 up has moved the market. And in fact, we've seen a downturn in the under 100.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Because they're having trouble qualifying and stuff like that because new CFPB guidelines. I think
are there new CFPB guidelines out there?
Yes, there are.
Did the mortgage industry change anything?
That's another whole show. But so we're seeing
Chris, you better take notes on that.
I know.
And there's been some months where we actually had less number of units have sold, but the volume dollar was higher, and it was due to the luxury end.
Absolutely.
So the people who are in the financial position to buy, they can buy in any market.
And one of the things I want to say, we were talking about this against one of the breaks a while ago, is financing in the luxury home. I get a lot of clients that come up that are referred to me by great agents like yourself. And, they're worried about the jumbo financing market. And let me tell you, it's very strong. I mean, it's extremely strong. On Friday, a jumbo loan, 30-year fixed, was still at a 4% on a 30-year fixed. So one of the things that you're seeing also is in that jumbo market, rates are actually equal to or even better sometimes than the conventional market.
Now, what was the loan to value on that?
Every loan to value, that was an 80% loan to value right there. Everything varies a little bit. But financing in the jumbo market is no different than financing in a regular market right there.
What are the biggest challenges you're seeing in the jumbo market?
I wouldn't really say there's challenges. I would say it's like anything.
Well, not for Chris.
Exactly, right, yeah.
Well, not for Chris.
Financing is financing. If an individual gets us all the information that's required, W-2s and tax returns, and everything that we need, financing is going to go through. As long as you qualify for your debt-to-income ratio and your loan-to-values meet everything and your qualifications and your credit scores are there, financing is there. And right now we're in that perfect storm. I tell everybody is you can find a home. If you can find a home in some of those areas and you can get the financing associated with how low rates are, it's a perfect time to get out there and to try to make things happen. But, financing is financing across the board, whether you're doing an FHA loan or a jumbo loan or a conventional loan or anything in between.
We have a call?
We actually do have a call right now. Caller, how are you doing?
Good.
So, you have a couple questions?
Yes, I have one for Heather McMahan.
Okay.
I would like to ask if Bel Air and Meyerland are good areas to buy a luxury home.
Yes, actually, Bel Air and Meyerland are very hot areas right now. and we're definitely seeing an increase in home sales in the luxury home market there, and in teardowns in Meyerland and in Bel Air both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's your name, by the way?
Sarah Dow.
Sarah Dow.
Sarah must be a first-time home buyer.
She is a first-time home buyer out there. I like you looking for large homes.
Sarah, what is your favorite one of your favorite shows?
The Real Estate Rat Pack show, right?
Obviously.
One of your favorite TV shows?
Home and Garden.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, Sarah, we really thank you for calling in, and we thank you for your question.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Now
that is somebody who's involved in real estate at an early age. That is perfect right there.
Off to Heather is it's like the Sony Corporation. They started off my first Sony, and they're talking about little electronics, and so you're already starting them off at how old is Sarah?
How old? 9.
Start them off young. How young is Sarah, I should say?
Yes.
9 going on 23.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Very intelligent little girl.
Now, to displace the rumors, by the way, everyone who watches $1 Million Listings, Los Angeles,
yes,
is that the way you sell homes here?
That's exactly.
Well,
how we do it.
it's all about getting up and looking cute and getting in my nice car and going. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. And it's just that easy.
That is too funny. I see that all the time. I'm like, I can honestly say, as many open houses I've gone to, I have never seen some of the tricks that they do on the show. That must be rigged.
Chris, I don't understand the financing side of it. I don't understand the financing anyway, but I really don't understand the financing on those shows where it's Steve is a part-time school teacher and his wife Phyllis is looking for a job. They need to move and they're looking at the $900,000 to $1.5 million range.
They have limited money down.
Yes. How is this possible?
Script writers.
No, that is true. And while there are a lot of programs out there, and a lot of times in California, there's even weirder programs from a financing perspective, I tell everybody is today's market when it comes to financing is still common sense. You have to have some money in the game. You have to have skin in the game, as they say. You have to be able to prove that you can qualify to buy and maintain that home over a period of time. So, that's just a get back to basics approach, but it is pretty funny to see that on
Well, if I recall,
TV.
you start off the month having 3 over $1 million loans just kind of called up in 1 week. I mean, that kind of exemplifies what these people are telling us.
Absolutely. If I look at my pipeline that I've got, closing in the month of November alone, I think right now we have either 5 or 6 over $1 million properties, and multiple of those are over $1.5 million as far as financing amount, which are multi-million-dollar properties. So.
Let's go back to we're talking about Heather and Peggy and Naseem all talked about that we're having foreign nationals coming by. How do they qualify for a loan? They don't have U.S. citizens. They probably don't have a tax ID number. Are they just coming and paying cash? Or
I have a lot of cash buyers. And cash is king right now. When you think about people coming from other markets, they've sold their properties and they're coming here with cash in hand. So yes, we do have a lot of
opportunity for a shameless plug. People have this concept that it's only economically challenged people that have credit issues. That's one of the biggest myths there are. I've helped people that have multi-7-digit incomes with their credit. They face issues as well as victims of identity theft. With foreign nationals, building credit is a big factor in how to establish a credit profile, those type of things. So it's not unusual at all to get people that are economically are doing great, but their lack of understanding or familiarity with the credit system is what the challenge is.
Well, I actually can tell you about 2 examples exactly like that. One of them was a self-employed gentleman who had double-digit millions in the bank and was unable to get a loan. He was turned down because he needed to leave his money. He needed to leave his money in the bank to operate his business.
Yep.
So, and he took a very small salary, only what he needed. The other one was an attorney, and it was the same situation. And it was quite a feat for me to find the right place at the time. I wish I would have known you both at that time to be able to help me in that situation, but I did finally get them financed. One of them lost over $3,500 in earnest money because we couldn't get it done in time. So it is, you are absolutely right. In the luxury market, it doesn't matter. These people have as much difficulty getting financed.
Well, there's one of my favorite examples or favorite stories, a gentleman that worked with Raytheon a while back. It was actually in Illinois. He flew all around the world. He was in Afghanistan and all this kind of stuff with these different projects. It was very hard to get hold of, but anyway, he was buying a luxury model home, and his credit score was really solid. It was 690s, not terrible by any means, but in the jumbo market, that's challenging, and it was simple stuff for him. He had my favorite example on how to use credit cards, but he had. I asked him, okay, so is your $75,000 line of credit still open at Wells Fargo, which I know it was, but yeah, it is, okay. And this Capital One card with the $20,960 balance on the $21,000 limit, is that still the same? He said, yeah, I just moved it all over there. I had this 0% interest offer, I'm like, yeah, that's great for paying it off, not so great for refinancing on a jumbo loan. So just moving money around was the difference he needed to help him.
Well, one of the things we are coming up against the end of the show almost being over. So what we want to do is give everybody an opportunity to give us 30 seconds. Let us know what you want individuals to leave the show with about you, and let us know how we can reach you as well. Peggy, we'll start off with you.
Well, I want individuals to know that I'm willing to work with the people who have specific needs and know that it's going to take them a while to find what they want. It doesn't bother me to answer any questions. No questions are stupid questions except the ones you don't ask, in my opinion. And I believe that if you're looking for somebody to really listen to what your needs are, I'm the person to do that.
How do we reach you?
And you can reach me at 832-429-7887, text or voice call, and my email is pegrealtor@gmail.com, and I'm standing by to be at your service.
Peggie Pentecost with Martha
Peggie
Turner
Pentecost,
Properties.
Martha Turner, Sotheby's International.
Oh, I'm just too much.
Heather, how about you?
Well, I'm with Keller Williams Memorial, and I work with everyone. I specialize in the luxury market, but I also work with first-time home buyers, and I treat them the same, the first-time home buyer, the same as I would treat a luxury client. I also specialize in farm and ranch, and you can reach me at 832-289-8267 or McMahonHeather@gmail.com.
That is awesome. Naseem, how about you?
I just want to encourage people of all ages. It doesn't matter how competitive the market is, 25 to, 100. It's a great thing to always invest in real estate. It's a forever investment. And I'm always open to clients, and I treat each person as if it was my family because I'm just passionate about it. If I work for Berkshire, if you want to contact me, it's 832-640-5512, and then nasalavi@gmail.com.
It's, as usual, we have great guests. One of the things we're always going to leave everybody with is a good life is inspired by love and guided by knowledge. Until next time, we are out.
And you've been listening to the Real Estate Rat Pack. The question is, who's Frank, who's Sammy, who's Dean, and who's the other guy?
Chris is Frank,
I'm
he's
Dean.
and I'm Sammy.
Yes, he's Dean. Is that right? Yeah.
So tune in to the really big show every Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on 100.